All right, everybody. Good afternoon. Check, check, radio check. If somebody wouldn't mind typing into chat that they can hear me, see me, that technology is not affecting our webinar today, that would be great. We'll go ahead and get started. So good. Thank you. All right. So welcome. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy day. And this is, our monthly update, rear view mirror look at the market. So even though it says November 2024, we will be looking at both the equities and the income holdings of, just some markets in the month of October. So before we get started, I just want to point out that November has been deemed Long-Term Care Awareness Month, and it's something that a lot of people don't like to talk about the kitchen table. I just have gone through it personally. I've shared on here as well. Family members, both current and past, that have gone through issues. And then I have a client now that, just was diagnosed with onset of dementia, and he retired 3 years ago at 65, and now at 68, he's showing signs, and it's been verified clinically. So, thank God he listened to me and we put a plan in place. So, this is the type of things that we do here at Professional Planning Services. We're not always going to tell you what you want to hear, but we will tell you what you need to know. So again, thank you for taking time out. If you'd like to talk about this topic in the future, please just send us a note. Let us know. All right. So without further ado, October on a monthly scale, not nothing, exciting, and it was a little skittish because when you think about it, it's right before November 5th, and then a landslide victory to the Trump administration has will change, I think, all the markets on a go forward. Today the markets were up, but we're gonna, we had the Trump bump right after November 5th for about a week and a half, and then you had a little bit of a slide. But today you saw some recovery. So, we will continue to see that. And again, 1 month does not a market make. I like to take a little bit more of a macro view and look at, and this is why you need to be in the market, right? So when we look at the S&P, which is the top winner up until October, up 20%, and a lot of myself included, economists were citing, hey, 2024, be cautious, right? Because it was just uncertainty, and the markets typically don't like uncertainty. I will say that again, economists are both right and wrong. But I think Q1, Q2, into 2025 should be pretty upward trending. And so, again, you want to be in the market, you want to be diversified. And again, this is just showing I would bet on the US, right? Versus, exposures in emerging markets or even Europe for that matter. But, just make sure that whatever you're doing as far as an index, a mutual fund, an investment philosophy, holding, having a portion of stocks is fine, and that'll bring us to our next slides. But we have a green line here, right? So what that means, or has meant in the past, when we look at the three wise men, that means that things should, our indicators are saying, hey, we have some tailwinds, we should see an upward trend, which is always good, right? We want to make more money, we want to limit the amount of risk, and we want to make sure that we keep our eyes on the gauges as we proceed. The now when I get into the income, again, 1 month does not a market make, but if I was, looking at the market and saying, hey, I need an income portfolio, you will see that most of the things that generate income were under pressure. And that makes sense because as interest rates rise, right, bond yields fall. But when we look at for the whole year, it's okay. It's lackluster. Nothing I would say to write home about. But what to me are the one telling sign is the powder blue, which is the top performer, 4.5%, which is in munis, and not just munis, but high yield munis. High yield, as you've heard me say before, stands for substitute the word junk, right? So that you're taking above average risk to be able to get some type of yield that you feel like you can hang your hat on. So all in all, I'm not overly concerned. I think that the markets with a balanced portfolio and some designs, bonds, right now the Fed was supposed to maybe had talked about back in September that they would, consider continuing to cut interest rates. But the jobs report and things are looking okay. And Jerome Powell has alluded to that not so fast. So that will just mean, and I know that the housing industry specifically, we got two things going on. We have shortage of inventory, right? So a lot of people are not putting their houses on the market because, as I always say, it costs to sleep indoors, right? So if you're going to sell your house, where are you going to live? If you're going to sell your house, and I got a call here today with a client's son that I helped through college, and that's been sort of a benefit of my college planning aspect of my practice over the years. He's served in the Marine Corps. He's now gotten out. He's now gotten married, and they're thinking about, but he doesn't understand finances and mortgages, right? I mean, this is an area of life when you're early, you're looking at, and you hear, oh my God. So, I gave him a couple suggestions, but as I started to look at mortgage rates, right, he got a quote from USA Today, or what's it, New Day, right, for vets. And then I also had him go to USAA just to shop, right, see what we could do. And they came back with 6.99. Now I called my friend of mine, a colleague of mine that's in the mortgage industry. I'm going to actually have him on the 12th on Fairway Mortgage, and he said the VA loans are absolutely the best, and I'm going to let this guy know that. But he goes at 6.5, 6.75. So you got to shop this stuff. But 6.5 is still, I think, in the world of finances, long-term viewing, it's expensive, but it's normal. And that's what I think the Jerome Powell's trying to do, is get back to a place of normalcy. We were so accustomed to these low interest rates, 2-3%, that when we see 4-5-6% for mortgage rates, we're like, ugh, right? That's the real cost of money. The other thing I would say about, as far as if you have a mortgage and you have a lower interest rate, whether it be 15-year, 30-year, and you were able to lock in, you know, I heard an expression, I'm borrowing it, I did not create it, but you don't hurry to a whooping. And what that means is a lot of us, by intuitively, we want to send in extra principal payments into our mortgage because we just don't want the debt. But 3% is cheap money. So why would I want to lose 3% that the bank is on the hook for 15 or 30 years to go so I can get zero rate of return on my equity in my house, versus so I could go take it and put it in the market and risk it? It's just, you need to think this stuff through. So I digress a little bit, but I just wanted to say that, the economy right now is strong. Things seem to, like I said, we have tailwinds. But if you have financial questions for you, your family, considering changes in your life, that's what we do. And so, I try and bring you valuable information, share insights from our perspective, being in the industry every day. But overall, right, I look at the income. You need to be in the market. You need to have a diversified portfolio, maybe having 30-40%, even 50% into some type of bond or bond-like alternative makes sense. But what I do recognize is that we do see downward pressure, right? We're still on a red line, right? So as our indicators are looking, I would say that, having an overabundance. I'm not saying, if you have a 401k at work, if you have a portfolio, don't go sell everything, but understand that they have an inverse relationship. So as interest rates are rise, our bond values go down. It's a seesaw. So, if interest rates get cut, then you will start to see the bond portfolios start to recover. So again, hopefully that makes sense. And again, we will continue to keep an eye on it. We will bring that to you every month, rear view mirror look of what's going on in our opinions in the economy. But the last thing is we're just over 50. There's nothing that is yelling or shouting out to me, the sky is falling, or grab your gear and heads up, because right now I think it's we're still trying to find our path into normalcy, right, as things change, right. One thing that's certain in life is change, and with the change in the administration, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, we will get through this, and it will ultimately. That's the thing, is stop listening to the TV, the talking heads, the news. It's depressing, it's upsetting, and people are just walking around, and at the end of the day, here's what I would leave you with. If the person that's on the TV does not know the name, either your name or the name of your children, you don't have to put a whole lot of weight into what they say, right? So keep that in perspective. And then lastly, I wanted to say, hey, Thanksgiving from our family to yours. It's a proud tradition that we've done every year. I think it's our 10th year. Apple pies. Madalina's makes they're a local bakery here in New Jersey. If you would like one from my family to yours, all you have to do is get there. Tomorrow is pickup, but even if you can't make tomorrow, just let us know. Get with Caitlin, Keith in my office, send them a note, send me an email, and we'll let Janet and the team know that you want to get there. Last point I want to make before I close up, there are no more chat with Chris. This is my last one. I am out next week because obviously happy Thanksgiving to everybody from all of us to you. And then the following week, I'm in Georgia at a partners meeting, so I will not be here. So there won't be any calls for the next 2 weeks. And then on the 12th, I have invited Victor Kale from Fairway Mortgage to talk to us about reverse mortgages. So it should be something to consider. Just as a hey, if crap hits the fan, you have a backup plan. So anyway, really, really, really want to thank all of you for taking time out of your day, and really from the bottom of our hearts, happy Thanksgiving. Hug the ones you're with, and really hope to see you soon. So happy Thanksgiving all.